Okay, I'm here with Renee to do some more pairing on the statistics branch of website 1, hopefully making some actual progress rather than regress for a change. Let's share my screen. So yeah, you know what this branch is actually trying to achieve, do you? Or should I give you a quick rundown of that?
I think I read about it.
If you go to here, to the website 1 section, you can see under features, request and design what Thomas has in mind for it. So basically just data visualization on the dashboard page that you get to right down here. At the moment all you get is a few lines of text, but we're trying to turn them into buttons and corresponding data visualizations. So let's do I don't know whether to run the tests again. I think I'll probably give it a miss because I'll take. Well, actually, no, let's run them in the background. And yeah, let's see what we've got in the code. So yeah, basically I think we have a test which is passing but a bit nebulously at the moment. So our latest test was just to see if I can't remember what was passing. Let's just find the test. So we've got dashboard stats and orders up here. So a user visits the statistics page and clicks members. Given I visit dashboard and I click the members button, then I should see a map. I'm slightly surprised this is passing at the moment, unless maybe it's got a pending step, because I don't think we've coded anything for this step here. If we look at step definitions, dashboard steps, visit dashboard. Oh yeah, that's why it's passing. It's just, well, this bit is pending. Also, this very stylish, quote, very stylish members button is a bit dubious. That came from basic steps. And if you, let's try specific. Yeah. It's actually not a button. It's a link, which I don't know. Maybe that's just normal. This was already here. This step definition. So I just kind of copied it for this, for the sake of not proliferating. And if you look at pages like just a normal part of one of the projects, it's not a good way. Or articles, maybe, I don't know. Well, I guess so. Yeah, like things like this are the cucumber test for this is that same step definition. But this is in HTML. This is a link rather than a button. But I decided I think for that, if it's good enough for the rest of the site, it's good enough for this branch. So I don't want to play around with that. That's if I just kick the thing off and show you what it looks like so far. We've got the test passing, but all it's showing is actually a very basic hyperlink. Yeah, this 6 members link, and yeah, it does nothing at the moment. Oops. And this is also redundant. 6 members and 6 agile ventures members lines.
This is all what, hard-coded or something?
This bit, the numbers down here are not hard-coded. So the actual numbers that are being used to feed this map, which is being a bit buggy anyway, are hard-coded. And have nothing to do with these. Yeah, so we need at some stage to turn this into something a bit more like
start on my local version here also. Follow bit.
Yeah, so we sort of want to turn this link into something more like this button. And as we turn the rest of them into links as well, we want to do the same, but it should be easy.
I mean, for this case, we could just, for drafting it out, we could just use the bootstrap buttons. And we use a large version, and then it.
Yeah, I've not used Bootstrap much. I have to say, CSS scares the bejesus out of me. It was like when I did the Makers course, it was just by far the most painful bit of it.
What? The boot?
CSS in general.
Okay.
Anything CSS.
I think since there's Thus, I really like it much more than beforehand with CSS stuff.
Sorry, Bootstrap you like a lot more?
No, not Bootstrap, but Thus, and Thus is
like SAS.
Yeah. SCSS.
Oh, right. Is that syntactically? What is it?
Syntactically awesome style sheets.
Oh yeah, SAS, yeah, right. Yeah. So yeah, I haven't really got as far as that. I mean, maybe, I don't know, I felt like I should learn CSS before I learned that, but maybe it makes CSS easier, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just hiding from CSS a lot. But yeah, I guess we should do it here. So if we wanted to use Bootstrap, glyph icons, buttons, groups. Okay.
Should I guide you?
If you know what we might do with it. Button.
What are you looking for right now?
Well, that's the thing. I'm not really sure. I'm just kind of looking through for just buttons, really.
It's totally easy in Bootstrap. I'll paste you in the chat. It's just a link to something. And then you have a button.
Link to foo path class button primary. Okay, right. All right. Well, fine. So where does that actually come from on the Bootstrap website? Because I just kind of Googled.
Oh, well, it's under the. I think either it's components or CSS.
Yeah, maybe I should have looked at. All right. Yeah, I just Googled.
And there should be buttons. Here we have it.
Yeah. Okay.
And you can use it with HTML entity button or with a link also.
All right, cool.
And what I would suppose for this, propose for this specific thing is also add a class like button LG.
LG. Sorry, button what? LG.
For log.
Oh, really? And this is, I take it that's also, yeah. Strappy thing. Okay, so then.
And then another thing. I mean, it depends on how you'd like to how to do it, but
I'm also not sure how much tests, if at all, are supposed to cover CSS. Like, would you just ignore it, or would you? Because it sounds like it would be quite difficult to test that it's appearing right visually. I mean, you can check for like CSS elements, but I don't know if that's really going to be any more useful than just checking that the button is there.
I mean, I actually wouldn't. I wouldn't test the look-in. Actually, I would just test the appearance of the given information I'd like to have on this page, but nothing like a CSS class of anything. I think.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So if I go to, I've used dashboard index. So here is where I've got it so far. So, oops. So I want to go to foo path. That at the moment. So just in case of adding this, I think button print. Oops.
Yeah.
Just went out where I could see it. And what was the last one? Button link.
And perhaps btn large would also be for this case when you have just a small amount of yeah.
Let's see how that comes out now. I've lost my browser. There we go. Oh yeah, that's pretty. Okay, score. Outbox. Okay, well that's looking quite good. So I guess the next step then is to define on my own dashboard steps. Where's it going again? This line here, then I should see a map. And I've got that set up here, but it's just not doing anything, obviously. So I think this should be. I was talking to Sam Pretty about this, and he thought that we should be searching for called.
Then
is this SVG? He said was these three letters were somehow important. Does that mean anything to you?
I mean, it depends on where does this map come from? It's from high charts, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't test it. It might. You're testing something what depends on the included JavaScript and on all this. I would perhaps test for the for the container with the attribute data high chart or something. But it's the only thing I do, because it simply makes no sense, because if somebody on the other side, on high charts side, crashes something, then you can test as much as you like.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, sure. No,
um,
yeah, I wasn't saying we should test anything
mm,
to do with the map, the map's functionality. Yeah, all I really want to do is just check, as you say, that the map is kind of there on the page in some, or at least rather that, yeah, that our code puts the map on the page subject to their code working.
mm,
Um, but I think that's what Sampriti was recommending, looking for the presence of this SVG thing for. But I
uh,
don't know, it looks a bit weird to me. It's just like these three letters at the end of a URL, and I don't even know what the URL is doing.
uh,
What this XMLMS attribute is. So I guess, so you reckon we should just check that, like, we um, see the high charts container?
yeah, this would be one thing, and of course we can just check for this SVG element.
Hmm. Oh yes, I forgot it's this. Yeah, so maybe that would be the main thing. Because I suspect that, like, because we're going to do other data visualizations that aren't a map
Mm.
for these other types of thing here. Um, and I think in those cases we might still have a high charts container to put them in, assuming we're taking visualization from high charts, which I think we probably will do for, cause it'll probably make it give it a more consistent look. Um, so I guess we just check SVG for now. So go back. So this would be what I expect. What do we render? No, expect.
But the code for this high chart is not checked in right now, right?
How do you mean checked in?
It's not. You didn't push it.
No, it's not on. It should be, if you've pulled from my latest thing, you should get this kind of more or less the same thing I've got. This hard coded map underneath this stuff. Have you not got that?
The URL to this page is just dashboard, right?
Yeah, it's not on the live site.
Yeah,
It's
no, it's my. I mean local. In because there. Now it comes.
Oh yeah, it's quite buggy. Did you find when you refreshed it? It came back?
Exactly. Mm.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. I'm kind of not worrying about that just yet,
Mm.
because the map itself is such a sort of splotch job. I've just literally pasted a bunch of
Mm.
hard-coded text, including hard-coded data, into
Mm.
the thing just so we had a pretty map to look at.
Okay.
So I figure we should, like, check for the map's presence, then try and put the map in or then write a test to check that the map has real data, and try and put it in a more sensible spot, and then see if it's still being buggy, and if so,
Mm.
then worry about it. Because there's also the question, I guess, of, like, what you should see when you go to the dashboard page.
Mm.
Should you see immediately just what's it called? So should you sort of see immediately just these buttons with no data visualization, or should there be like a default data visualization for whatever the first or most important thing is?
You mean this data visualization is dependent on the button you clicked, like 12 articles published or
Yeah,
something?
exactly.
Then it should. Okay. Mm.
So you won't want a map for all of these and stuff. I mean, for example, if we had one for like minutes of scrums or something,
Mm.
or documents published. Brian had another suggestion.
Mm.
Damn it, I think I've lost now. I should have put it into the comments. Just see. Uh, Oh yeah, I'm just gonna take this and paste it. Don't actually know where I should paste it. It's the best way to put a comment about, hey, maybe you should do this differently. I guess here. Commit count, story count. Oh, I see. That's where that's where that bloody commit count thing came from. Okay. Well, anyway. Yeah. But so in any case, so we're gonna have yeah, some number of different buttons that show you some number of different things, and it won't make sense for them all to be a map. For example, a commit count wouldn't make much sense as a map. You probably want charts for most of them. I don't know whether, yeah, I mean, I guess the immediate question is like, because this should probably be the base case.
But is there at least the possibility to display the data on the map for all the, like, okay, members would be okay, projects, I don't know, projects wouldn't work, articles wouldn't work, documents wouldn't work.
I think it's only members really, and the rest would probably be a chart of some kind. So I guess we want two things. It's probably the same type of chart would work for everything else, I think. Yeah. So first question is, what's the base case if you come to dashboard? Do you think you should sit? I don't really have a view on this. One of the reasons I hate CSS is I have no eye for design at all. Do you think you should see just the buttons, which would presumably have the data on them, or you should see a default chart to start with?
I don't know. I don't know actually. I think I don't. Did you discuss this aspect?
No, I mean it seems kind of obvious in retrospect, but we hadn't actually really. Yeah, we haven't discussed it at all. Whether what the base case should be. I don't know whether it's worth worrying about right now. I mean, maybe for now we should say that you just see the map by default because that's what we're working on, and we don't have anything else. And we should get that working, and then it'll probably be easier to, especially once we introduce, because once we introduce the ability to click on another button and get rid of the map and bring in a chart. I imagine we'll be like 90% of the way to, if we want to, making the initial data not appear by default.
What about thinking more incrementally? Like there's this raw data available, like 12 at my local host, 12 articles, 9 active projects, 22 agile ventures, etc.
Yeah.
In a first step, like designing this in a way that you could look at it without any functionality behind it.
Sorry, look at what just the buttons, or
exactly, like think about how to do it. I mean, there's this draft, and then just you could just implement in a way the the way it's shown.
Yeah. So we take this data here and sort of expand this into buttons as well.
Well, also we could don't know, because if there is no functionality behind it, then I wouldn't use buttons, of course.
Mm.
And
well, I mean, the whole feature is that there is going to be functionality behind it. Yeah, I wouldn't want to submit a pull request for this with just button, or with any, without the ability to look at maps. So, I mean, I don't. It might still make sense to go through and make the buttons appear. I mean, I guess that seems like it would be quite easy. If we just say, oops. Maybe go to, I don't know, view specs or something. That's presumably one for dashboard. Display statistics. So yeah, maybe I guess we'll just change these tests to have button. Is that a valid thing? Or have link rather. I think capybara. So I guess if we just change this to one of them is text. So that should hopefully make it. Oh, what is test fail? Oh, how's this doing? Cucumber was fine. Okay. Last spec on. Hopefully, I'll get 6 failures.
You have 6 failures?
I'm hoping to get 6 failures. So I just changed these things to have link rather than have text. That's about right. Yeah. So now if we can make those pass fairly easily, I think, by just copying this. It's the easiest way to copy this. It's going to be a bit fiddly. The actual wording. Scrum minutes. Why did my screen just jump? This is going to be almost the same. Yeah, this is just going to take 5 minutes of tedium. I don't know if you want to go and read a newspaper or something. I can ping you when I've finished.
Can't you do something like replace?
Yeah, I guess, but it's kind of fiddly because they're not quite. They're all slightly different in multiple places.
And when you would do a regex replace, like from the add until the last brace, just surround it.
I can do the regex well enough. I can maybe do this. So what would that would be like? Let's try it. At stats. No, this has got to be. Hold on. Is it the carrier that starts off the regex?
No, it's not the beginning of the line, I guess.
Oh yeah. So it would just be that's the thing. I'm not sure how to say like everything between.
I would try it with the add stats and then in braces a point and then asterisks. And this not like in these not these braces but the round ones. Exactly. Like and the asterisks, I guess, after the.
So remind me what the round braces or the parentheses are doing.
Pardon?
Remind me what the brackets are doing.
For one or more of alphanumeric, I think. So I'm not sure if it will work with these braces, but after the asterisk, I would choose the closing brace.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, I would guess intuitively that this is going to pick up the whole line because we're just saying one or more of anything, aren't we?
Until the closing brace.
And okay. So then I guess that would be it for that. And then we want to say what stats.
Wait. Do you know rubula.com?
Yeah. Okay. Is that the thing that lets you check for regex?
Exactly. Stocks, documents, comments, check it.
Test string. Shit.
Actually, it actually works. You would find it with that one.
Okay, that's interesting. So why does this? So what? Can you talk me through this? I sort of, if I would, what happens if I get rid of nothing? So what's the difference between this and without the parentheses?
I think it could be none or any.
What the dot is like.
So, for example, if you would remove these first brace and articles and count, then without the round braces, it wouldn't fit, I guess. If you just
put this back in, that still doesn't match. So I thought that, what did I think? I thought that round braces, what did I think they were? I think it was square braces. Capture everything enclosed. Yeah, I thought that the brackets kind of worked.
But this is just, I think this is the easy part to create a regex which actually finds the string, but I don't know how to replace it in Sublime, or use actually the match data and surround it with the needed stuff.
How do you mean?
I mean, using a regex here just makes sense if we capture the match data by this regular expression.
Yeah.
Then take this match data and surround it by the link to stuff, for example.
So what you would like put that down here, you mean, or sort of add link to something like that?
Exactly.
Then, so what? How is this going to work? This is going to replace it with what it last picked up or something.
Yeah, this is what I don't think. I don't know Sublime, so I don't know where it captures the match data. I guess there's some special char.
Yeah, bloody hell. Okay, that was not what I meant to do. And replace. Yeah, I was afraid of it doing something like this. I don't. Maybe Sublime is just not clever enough. I don't know if there's any way you can dynamically, enter.
Yeah, I'm quite sure that you can actually do that. Also, not if you write it directly down in the file itself, but I think there's some special char like a $sign or something for the match data.
Okay.
But I'm not sure.
What, like take the thing that you've just matched and
exactly
store it in this as a variable or something.
Exactly.
Okay. That is good to know, but I think I'm going to give up on this one. I think I could spend all evening doing this rather than for the sake of saving 5 minutes doing it.
Last week I had this kind of situation where I had to change, I think, about 2,000 files with a regex and replace, quite similar to this problem. And I tried to do it in Vim. In one file it works quite easy, but over a collection of files I had really a hard time.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's, I mean, I don't know, maybe you are right, but my guess would be that this is something that Vim has over Sublime. I mean, I think this is one of the reasons people use it. It's sort of better at data manipulation. So
it does, but it doesn't work because I did some research. I had to look for how to solve this problem, and there were some plugins, but not. Wait, I need to go to phone. I see you nearly finished.
Gradually getting there, yeah. Oops. Um,
There's the instance variable is missing, I think, on the last link to thing. Damn it, again phone.
all of these. You there?
Oh, okay.
I'm just finishing off some food. But let me screen share again. So yeah, I forgot to rerun the tests, but it's now appearing okay on the website. Well, for a pair. It's appearing with buttons. There we go. It's still failing.
They're still failing.
I changed all the text. Fine. Didn't like the capitalization. Fine. Now, dangerous. Tests. Yeah, I used to be an editor, so I get upset by it, among other things, over capitalization. Oops, I've got the same thing twice now. Okay. So we've got some buttons, not as nicely aligned as they might be, but nonetheless, buttons.
How many are there? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One means we could pair them in threes. But what I would probably do is then use the call LG form. I mean, over each, I would surround each of these buttons with a div class called LG4, I guess.
Okay. So each individually.
Well, I guess, this can be because the layout is quite untypical made. It can be that there are actually not 12 columns left, but 9 or something. Which would mean we would have to use call LG3.
So this is saying just setting the size of the width of the column before a break.
This is the whole layout is actually it makes use of Bootstrap, and Bootstrap has a really impressive grid system, which makes it quite easy to create responsive designs. With this call LG4, you just define that on a large screen, each of these buttons should span 4 columns. And then I'd probably add also like to this.
Is that so? Will that stretch them, or is that up to a max of 4 columns?
No, actually, the column is exactly 4 columns wide. But the content of these div is not doesn't span from the very left to the very right of each of these columns. But you can do it, especially with these buttons, if you also add a class to this button, which is btn-block.
btn-block. Okay. So like
yeah.
So what does that do?
Pardon?
What does this do? This turns them to what, size 1 or something, or?
No, this makes that the button actually spans the whole width of the column.
Okay. So then if I do that and then do this div class thing.
Exactly.
Here we go.
Oh, no, I'm curious.
Sorry?
No, I'm curious.
Oops. That's probably not what we're going for.
Yeah, but you see the block, the block display works. Wait, I have a look at my local version to see how the grid is set up in this view. It's a...
Can you show me on your screen?
College 9, oh yeah, I can show you, wait. Where is it? I have to fix this. Can we see?
Yeah, I can't make out the text. I have to expand it a little bit.
This is can you see this?
I can see, but I can't. Yeah, I can sort of see what it is, but I can't read it.
This says that the whole section on the side, like the this section here, spans only 9 columns, which is, I think, not the way to do it, because everybody expects 12 columns. Anyway, but this would mean is there another one? Look. We could add here some kind of So But also this means that the div class caller LG4 has to be changed to caller LG9, because otherwise the
9.3.
caller LG3, I mean.
Yeah. Okay. We seem to have an Amy.
Hello.
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 We're just doing, we're trying to make a little section of website 1 in a way look a little bit prettier at the moment. Okay, so shall I just go through and change all those 4s to 3s?
Yeah.
Missed. No, same.
Could you perhaps show me the Okay, and then there's the div without a CSS class above call LG3, above the first call LG3. I think we could add a div class row to it.
Is that another bootstrap thing?
Pardon?
There's a row
Yes,
and bootstrap class.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think it's the same as it did. Or maybe it's expanded slightly outwards, I think.
Yeah, but it should. Or
yeah.
I have a hard time working through the Hangout.
Yeah, it's quite hard to read, isn't it? I don't even know if you can expand the console. If you can't, you can just expand the main section.
What happens if you for example change the call LG3 of the first link to say call LG1 to see if it actually has any effect?
Doesn't do anything at all, no.
Then there's something fundamentally different.
Yeah.
I can't. The dashboard index template.
Sorry?
I just wanted to know if this is the dashboard index template. And I just prototype it here. See what happens.
So there's this thing, just browsing the Bootstrap website that says something about giving them class span n, where n is some fraction of 12, some proportion of 12. Much changes if I try that.
I'll see. At my screen, it actually works. I didn't use now the why it shouldn't. Try button class also.
So the only thing I can think immediately is like when I was changing on mine the bits of text to links. I also took out the paragraph elements surrounding them.
Ah, I see.
I don't know if that would be relevant here, but it does mean we've got a slightly different code.
So, I mean, actually, it has to work. I don't. Could you show me your index again?
Yeah. So yeah, I took out the p elements from. There was one in front of each of these links originally.
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought so.
Class row.
But I also don't really know much about Bootstrap.
Perhaps you have a small screen size. Okay. How large is your display for your browser?
In terms of resolution?
Exactly.
I don't think it's tiny. I couldn't tell you immediately. I imagine it can tell me somehow.
Because the way it looks like it's a mobile device.
No, I mean it's not a huge screen. It's 13-inch, and it's not a particularly new map, so it's probably not huge. But
okay.
But
then I have of course, because I thought you are probably working at a quite big screen.
No.
And so, the simple solution is probably to add the breakpoint classes for the smaller devices also. And this would mean to each of these div classes where you define call LG, what is it, 3, you have to add a call MD3 also, and a call SM, let's say, we could try it also with 3.
I'm just trying to find where this is on the Bootstrap site again, because I was just looking at this section and it didn't seem to have any of this LG stuff.
Here we have it.
Yeah. So which one was that, sorry?
Now you have to add
this bit here.
The call MD and the call SM. I would add these also.
Both of them to the same classes.
exactly.
MD and col. I'm really confused by this. So they're not saying contradicting.
But you said you say it also like call LG3, call MD3, call SM3. So,
all right.
Normally, you would probably at the breakpoint for small screen sizes, you would probably not use 3 because then the buttons are too big. But we can just check if it has an effect.
Mm. Okay, so I should have put them on 4, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
The looks of it. Right, sweet.
But now you don't. Why don't you have a sidebar?
Sidebar?
Mm-hmm.
Did I ever have a sidebar on this page?
Yeah, look at my page. There's a sidebar, the supporters bar.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Where's it gone? Huh. Interesting. I'm not sure that was ever there, though. I can't remember now, which is not helpful. I think that might have disappeared quite. Do you remember seeing one before? I sort of wasn't really thinking about it, so I have a sneaky suspicion it's just never been appearing since some amount of time ago. Yeah, it just appears when I stretch the screen.
Okay. Mm.
Don't really know how that would.
Mm.
I mean, maybe that's for the best anyway. It seems like crowding advertising on the screen, if it's this size, would be a bit pushy.
Pardon?
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like crowding advertising onto the screen when it is this size might, like it might be right as it is because you don't, if it's this small and you kind of shunted these, this whole section over to left so you could squeeze in some version of the adverts, that feels like you'd just be really cramping the screen.
Mm.
Well, I think I'll commit this app as it is before we do.
No, wait, no, I wouldn't commit this yet, because there's one thing which you would normally do because now your HTML is overcrowded with this CSS classes, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And actually, also the margins between the buttons,
Mm-hmm.
between the first and the second row. This looks also not very good. And so I'd actually, I don't know where to do this. If there's a dashboard CSS or SCSS file already. But I would actually define classes for this purpose.
Mm. So the idea would be you would, where's it gone? You would invent your own class name and then.
No, in CSS, I would, for example, I write it in the chat window. I would say the button. And G green and and also margin. Then I would rip all these this call MGSM classes and replace it with just the class fancy button.
Okay. So we're sort of creating a meta class, I guess.
I mean, the naming is quite.
Fancy button, yeah. Well, let's see. So, start it's global layout, application, buttons. So just come under buttons. Rather than
actually, it's misleading because I called it fancy button, but the CSS, which actually hooks in, is not the CSS of the button, but the CSS of the surrounding div. So one would call it fancy button column or fancy button wrapper or something.
And would you put it in the buttons file rather than creating a separate? I don't know.
I think actually we should search through the CSS files and see if there's a section already defined for the dashboard or something.
I don't think so. We've got this stuff here. Yeah, there aren't actually that many CSS files.
They're not that much actually.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's any definition for dashboard or something.
Sure what pages means.
Oh, there's no occurrence of the word dashboard in the CSS files.
No, I don't think so. So you think we should create a new file?
I don't know yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my instinct is to put it in buttons because I don't like creating a file for a single thing. But I don't know if that's a bad instinct.
I think normally you'd say there's a principle of how to arrange your CSS files, and when I look at these, at the way the CSS files are created, I don't see a principle. So this actually should be refactored as well. But there's what is actually quite nice with see if I find it.
Sorry, say that again. What's quite nice? What was it you just said?
There's a tip for how to arrange your exactly how to arrange your CSS files. And actually, I think by using that principle to arrange your CSS files makes working on these files much easier.
So what is the principle?
That I mean, they use atoms, molecules, organisms, templates, and pages. So they have a directory structure named after these 5 topics. And under these, there you put your specific files. Like, for example, for pages, one would then create a dashboard as CSS. And so one could also namespace specific CSS for that specific page, that it doesn't interfere with other CSS. But I think this is a long way to go. I wanted just to mention it.
Yeah, no, sure. So this is whose recommendation is this? Is this Pattern Lab thing?
There was a quite wide discussion of this subject, especially because of the Rails way, because Rails, for every controller, it creates an own CSS files if you scaffold the things.
Mm-hmm.
And so a discussion came up how to deal actually with it. And out of this discussion, there came this atomic design patterns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as you say, we're quite away from this at the moment. Okay. I want to take some kind of executive decision here. So do we global layout and some random stuff that doesn't fit into any of the above?
I mean, you could just leave it that way, because I leave it the way it is, because I think actually the CSS on the midterm should actually be reworked on, because there also will be I think there are some discussion going on about the events pages. Amy, I think, did some draft for this. Okay. And so I would just delay the decision and probably leave it as it is.
In the HTML file?
Exactly. It's not nice because it's cluttered then with CSS markup, CSS class, but well, anyway.
But in that case, I guess I need to add this margin bottom bit as well.
Mm. This doesn't work. This would be inline styles. This is evil. Then you would have to say like style equals margin bottom. But this is actually a total no-go. And so I would say, don't know, define the page box. We could add a specific class to this row, like div class row, space, and then don't know, say something like
3-button row or something.
Yeah, fancy button things. And then just define exactly, and then
put this in buttons,
and then just go to global.
And put it where, like, and just have a page, create a page for the dashboard after all.
Oh well, there's a page dot. Perhaps this is it. Yeah. Yeah, and then at the very end, I would just open up our defined 3-button class and define that every every child div should have a margin bottom of 1 EM, something like this.
How would you do every child div?
If you go to one line above, make a line break, and then say just div, open it up, exactly, and then It's probably quite evil doing it that way, but I guess it should it should work.
Okay. Like Thomas, we've been working on the website. We've introduced lots of evil to it. Expected class name was 3-button row.
Okay.
Why is that not class name? I'm confused.
Perhaps you can't use numbers in your classes at the beginning.
Oh, sweet. Okay. I think on that note, I'm going to commit because I think I'm going to take a quick break. I've got to go and pick my girlfriend up from the station in a minute, and I think I could just use a rest.
Okay.
What have we done? Okay. I'm trying to get myself to always work standing up, but after a while my feet start to really flipping hurt. But I think that's a good sign that it's time to have a bit of a break. That might be it for me today anyway. But conceivably I'll be back on later on. But yeah, cheers for that. If I don't see you this evening, I'll see you, I guess, later in the week. So you're doing the scrum tomorrow morning, right?
Yeah.
I'll take the Thursday one and leave the Friday one up to you.
Pardon?
Okay, cheers.
Okay, ciao.
See you soon.